Okay, we have a question from a philosopher in Germany. The pride, doubts, and wrong views you criticize seem to be similar to dualism, criticism, and conception, which are, however, fundamental aspects of philosophical work. Does that mean I have to give up philosophy in order to be a true Buddhist?
问题是说，刚才你所批评的骄傲、还有怀疑、还有邪见，这听起来好像就是这个哲学的一个基底。问问题的人是一个来自德国的哲学家，那么这是不是代表我要放弃哲学呢？
Yes.
是的。
But you will also have to give up being Buddhist later, so it doesn't really matter.
但是之后你也必须要放弃身为一位佛教徒，所以其实没有关系。
Okay. Again, one more.
Rinpoche spoke yesterday about renunciation, how to practice renunciation without falling into nihilism.
那么仁波切提到了出离心，我们要如何修持出离心，而不陷入一种虚无主义。
Okay, I will go back to my example of dreaming.
我回到这个做梦的这个例子。
Here, you need to know the real renunciation is really knowing that when you fall, you are actually not falling.
那么真正的出离心其实是知道了解你在以为你在掉落坠落的时候，你并没有在坠落。
That's why I said, when you fall, if you scream, you are falling into scream and not knowing that this is a dream. That is nihilism.
这是为什么我说，当你在坠落的时候，假如你尖叫的话，那么你就掉入了这个虚无主义。
Yes.
When you make an aspiration, are you in essence aspiring to change or to accept?
当你发心的时候，你其实是在发愿要做改变，还是要接受？
I think both.
两者都是。
Accepting the true your Buddha nature, and changing in the context of undoing the cocoon that is wrapping your Buddha nature.
你接受你自己的佛性，
Yes, please.
然后愿意改变那些绑住你佛性的东西。
Rinpoche, thank you for your beautiful teachings. From my perception, my karmic perception, when I hear you, for me it's always like in one sentence, yes and no, and in the same time it's not contradictory. And my question is about renunciation and discipline. You said renunciation mean renouncing all the views, but discipline, there is a view, there is a morality. So how in the same time actually renounce on the view and follow the morality?
所以我的问题是关于出离心还有持戒。那么出离的话是要出离所有的见地，但是持戒的话那边还是会有个见地，所以要怎么样两者一起修持？
I'm glad that you guys are asking this. It's just as how I teach that monk.
我很开心你们问这些问题，因为觉得像是我在取笑那个和尚的方式。
This is what you need to get used to with the Mahayana concept of relative truth and ultimate truth.
因为你必须要理解，这个就是大乘关于世俗谛还有圣义谛的方式。
I think what you need to know is this. Until you know you are dreaming, you will always be panicked.
直到你了解你在做梦的那一天，你总是会担惊受怕。
It doesn't matter. You are peacefully sleeping on your bed, but you will still be in panic.
即使你是在你的床上非常安详的睡着，但是你还是会担惊受怕。
As long as you have panic, path is valid.
只要你有这份惊吓，那么道途就是需要的。
As long as you are dreaming, somebody sort of, waking you up is valid.
只要是你还在做梦，那么要有一个人来把你叫醒，这个就是可以成立的。
In reality, somebody waking you up is not helping you at all in getting rid of this real problem, because there was never a real problem.
那么实际层面来讲，有人把你叫醒，其实并没有帮你解决问题，因为从头到尾问题就不存在。
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you for your teaching, Rinpoche. You mentioned mentioned being an artist, and I was thinking, as an artist, when you go to your work, you would want to bring right view, and I was thinking about the Buddhist idea that you have the highest view, high as the sky, but fine as sampa flower, your actions. But if, hypothetically, Allen Ginsberg, if you were still alive today, were to ask you, when I go to my writing desk, what should I do when I sit down other than right view? Would there be, when I start to write, during writing, and when I end my writing session? Thank you.
Okay.
那么问题是说，我是想要一位艺术家，那么就要保有正见。那么也有这句话是说，你的见地要广如天空，但是行止要细如粉末。那么假如今天 Allen Ginsberg 坐在这边问仁波切说，我在写作的时候，在桌子前面，我要保持什么样的一个见地？仁波切会怎么回答？
Again, very connected to, relative bodhicitta, remember I think we talked yesterday, it doesn't matter what you do, whatever you do, even mundane things like waking up in the morning, may it somehow lead me to awaken myself and others. I think that is the fundamental and the easiest.
那么就像昨天提到的，世俗菩提心，不管我做什么事情，就算只是早上醒来，那么希望它都可以用某种方式让我自己证悟，也可以帮他人证悟，这是最简单的。
I think right now, because I'm just giving you a sort of a summary of this chapter, which really has everything there, so maybe it's confusing you people a little bit.
那么现在，因为我只是给大家讲一个这个总括来讲，所以对大家来说可能会有点难懂。
This is very big. I mean, it's a very profound level.
这是一个非常深广大的一个教法。
Yes, in one sense, it talks about no time.
是的，他一方面讲说没有时间。
If no time, how does the aspiration work?
假如没有时间的话，那么发愿要怎么起作用呢？
As I said right at the beginning today, aspiration always has something to do with in the future.
如同我今天一开始所讲的，发愿行愿好像总是跟未来是有关联的。
Yeah, but time and again in these stanzas, this is dealt with.
但是在某些寄颂里面，他总是一再的会去处理这件事。
For instance, it says, you should prostrate to the Buddhas of the future.
像是你应该对未来佛礼敬，
Now,
现在应该对他们礼
how do
敬。
you do that?
你怎么去
I'm
做
here
呢？
and they're, about to come in the future. How do I do that?
我现在在这里，但是他们还没到，我要怎么去做？
These are Mahayana's incredible method of trying to really, basically, trying to stir our normal way of thinking.
那么这个就是大乘特别的这些方便方法，能够来搅乱我们一般的思维方式。
Okay? Yeah?
Hello, Rinpoche. For the past few years, one thought that's become really prominent in my mind is that free will is an illusion. And whenever I start thinking in terms of absolute reality, my mind seems to naturally gravitate towards nihilism. And I've been cautioned, or in the teachings I've heard many cautions against nihilism. But from my perspective, nihilism is not untrue. And if it's not untrue, can it be used as a valid tool in my spiritual process?
那么就过去几年，我一直在思考自由意志这件事情。那么在想到究竟实相的时候，我总是会变得比较虚无主义，落入断见。从我的经验来说，断见并不是不真实的。那么我可不可以用断见或是虚无主义来作为道途的一个工具？
Actually, nihilism as a habit, we all have.
那么虚无主义作为习惯来讲，我们都有。
That's why we get depressed, for instance.
这是为什么我们会忧郁。
Also, we are also by habit eternalist.
但是习性上，我们也是有永久主义的倾
That's
向。
why we also get ridiculously hopeful.
这也是为什么我会抱有希望。
So That's always there.
所以总是会在的这两者。
What you don't want is a nihilism as a result of, classic Mahayana languages, result of a analysis.
但是你不想要的是因为分析之后，然后有虚无主义变成是一个后果，那么这是很经典的大乘的语言。
Because if you so you analyze, is it, like through your logic, through, I don't know, scientific tool, and then come to a conclusion nothing exists. That is dangerous.
所以你透过逻辑、科学分析等等的，然后你得到的结论是说没有东西任何存在，那么这样是危险的。
Yeah, again, going back to the dream example,
回到做梦的例子，
when you fall, you will be afraid,
当你坠落的时候，你会害怕。
even though in reality you are not falling. We
其实
always go back to that.
其实现实中你并没有在坠落。
Now the thing is this, the interesting thing is, if you analyze, let's say,
有趣的是，假如你分析它，
then if your analysis is good, then you may say, oh, I'm just dreaming. You just, that's good.
假如你去分析的好的话，那么你就会说，哦，我只是在做梦，这样很好。
But let's say, by analyzing, and you come to a conclusion that I'm trying to remember the Nagarjuna's, Chandrakirti's words, but so if you say that you have never dreamt, you never had that nightmare, then that's nihilism.
假如说你是透过分析，然后你有了一个结论，然后我试着想回忆起月城的语言，然后你说我从来其实没有去做梦，或是做过这个噩梦的话，那么这也是虚无主义。
No, you are sweating, you screamed, you were like shouting,
你出汗，你尖叫等等的。
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Rinpoche mentioned that jealousy is also a great obstacle for practitioners. I feel like jealousy is subtle and difficult to overcome. Rinpoche, what is the best way to overcome jealousy?
仁波切提到嫉妒心是一个修道的一个阻碍，然后是非常的微妙，然后很难去克服。请问仁波切有什么意见？
Very easy, easy sort of answer, just because it's a very big question.
这是一个很大的问题，一个简单的回答就是
Don't have time to talk about this too much.
没有时间讲。
But there is a practice called 7-limb practice, and one of them is actually designed to counter the jealousy.
那么有一种修持方式叫做7支，那么当中其中一个就是为了要能够战胜嫉妒心，
It's the rejoice.
就是随喜。
Yeah, jealousy is a problem. They say that, some of the commentators say there are two loser emotion.
那么有些世论家他们又曾经这样讲，就是有2种失败者的情绪烦恼。
And among these two, this jealousy is even more of a loser.
那么这2者失败者的情绪，这个嫉妒是
Yeah.
更失败的。
Anyway, pride being the other one.
另外一个是骄傲。
Jealousy, yes, is a real loser because at least, passion, you get things done.
那么嫉妒真的是最没有用的，因为假如说你有这个热情的话，你至少还能够做点什么事。
And with aggression also you get things done.
啊，假如你有嗔心的话，你可能也会做什么事。
And with ignorance you get stoned. It's kind of nice.
假如说你有吃的话，那么你就很莫名其妙的开心。
But what to do with this jealousy is like baseless, totally. And most of the time, it's like a story inside you.
但是这个疑心你要怎么办呢？通常就是你自己脑海中的故事而已。
But actually, if you want to topple, okay, one example. This I think comes from Milarepa. If you want to tackle jealousy, you should have a economy embargo. No, Milarepa didn't say this. I'm interpreting his words.
那么给大家一个例子，就是弥勒日巴曾经这样讲，然后仁波切的诠释方式就是，假如说你想要战胜嫉妒心的话，你应该要有一种这个贸易上的断交。
Jealousy gets fed by pride.
因为骄傲会增长嫉妒。
So watch the pride, and then jealousy gets unsettled.
所以你要对你的骄傲慢心多注意一点，然后这个时候你的嫉妒心就比较不会这么大了。
I know how to do with the pride.
我知道要怎么去做。
We can talk later. It's too much, too long.
但是这你可能会想说要怎么样对付慢心，但是这谁要讲太久了。
Thank you for coming to Vancouver. I'm a big fan of your books. And I remember that you used the metaphor of onions, like a Buddhism teaching is like different layers of onion. And so I really enjoy readings and reading about Buddhism, but each onion I read, I kind of lose face of the previous onion, previous layers. But I also feel like I'm lacking practice. So it's like, each layer, the more I read, but also lacking of practice. I don't know which onion should I pick and really sit with it and really do the work.
他的问题是说，仁波切在书里面有给过一个例子，就是修道好像剥洋葱一样，但是每剥一层洋葱，他都对前一层洋葱失去了信心，但可能因为自己的羞耻不够，他不知道应该要剥哪层洋葱。
I think I will let you keep this problem.
我想我会让你继续保有这个问题。
Hi, Rinpoche. Thanks for your teaching. I guess my question has been brought up, or similar questions have been brought up. We've been talking about aspiration, and usually it goes, may I, something, something. So it sounds to me like I am in pursuit of something or trying to do something. And you were also talking about the idea of selfless. So I guess my question is, if there's not a self, then who
Yes, me and my monk.
Yeah,
You are talking
exactly.
about yes, I understand.
And
so
also,
just remember, we are talking aspiration from the beginning of the dream till the end of the dream. Other than that, there is no aspiration.
and I guess, sorry,
Which will come this afternoon. Remember, it says, it ends with, the Buddhist result. The aim of Buddhism is beyond aspiration.
is it sort of like someone else asked the question, if like about discipline, and but at the same time you said maybe we should let go of like.
I didn't hear that one.
Is it similar to someone else asked a question earlier about discipline, and then also how you said we should let go of
Yes.
firm grips on ideas? So is it sort of like until we see the, I guess you could call it the fundamental truth, there needs to be a path, and all these things are
Yes.
a path.
Everything from the beginning of the dream till the end. Practice, discipline, generosity, prayers, everything exists there.
And that's why you said to the German philosopher, like, in the end, you have to give up being a Buddhist
Yes.
anyway. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay?
Thank
非
you.
常
Can
大
you
概的翻
summarize?
译一下，就是讲说，既然这个发愿好像是说要有这个追求，要去做什么的话，那么这跟无我不是相冲突的吗？那仁波切的意思是说，就像做梦一样，从一开始到最后，这一切都是在梦中，除此之外就没有任何发愿的这件事情。那么这也是为什么我们要有这个道途，然后这也是为什么仁波切刚才跟那个德国的哲学家说，到最后我们也要放弃成为一位佛教徒。然后下午我们会再讲更多这方面的事。
Hi, Rinpoche. I think one of your superpower is you're really good at making analogies. So I remember you mentioned nowadays mindfulness is a bit like diluted chai. Chai used to have this beautiful connotation, the smell of the train, the clay pot, the sugar, and the heart. So for someone or for people who aspire to make effective and memorable analogies, do you have any tips and tricks, mental model, app recommendation, things like
For
that?
someone who
Aspire to make effective and memorable analogies.
问题是说，仁波切好像很会打譬喻，像是他曾经讲说，现在当代的正念就好像是被稀释了的印度拉茶。那么仁波切有没有建议要怎么样可以打更好的譬喻给他？
That's what the aspiration was doing, like may I be able to talk to people with different language to different people. I think that's why we do this. Basically, may I
What's your tips and tricks to deliberately practice this ability?
This is the trick, aspiring. Aspiring, I think. I think it really does. Best trick.
仁波切说，最好的技巧就是去发愿。
Okay.
What do you think is the most important thing about an intimate relationship from a Buddhist perspective?
请问仁波切在一段亲密关系当中最重要的是什么？
Buddhists don't really care so much about what you eat, what you drink,
佛教徒不太去在乎你吃什么喝什么，
how you eat, how you drink,
你怎么吃怎么喝。
and also in the intimate relationship falls, and in this kind of department, I think.
那亲密关系就跟怎么吃怎么喝其实是一样的。
If if you don't do it properly, even I don't know, even vegan chai might be troublesome.
假如你不好好去做的话，尽管就甚至是蛋奶素的这个拉茶，都可能会给你带来麻烦。
The vegan cappuccino drinkers, they are the worst sometimes.
蛋奶的这些卡布奇诺喝咖啡的人，他们有时候是最糟的。
They're like I don't know, like a vegetarian terrorist.
他们像是素食的恐怖分子。
There's a really good French film called Delicatessen.
有一
It's
部很
really good.
有一部很棒的法国电影叫做《Delicatessen》。
Rinpoche, my question is about the climate emergency and just the way the world is going generally. And years ago, I heard you say that we should make aspirations, that, if we're worried about the climate emergency, all that this would help a lot. But I guess I still have some doubts because, I don't know.
What is my thought about how the world is going? Is that?
No, I mean, from my point of view, maybe there really isn't any future. So what aspiration am
I
I
see.
making in that case?
问题是关于生态危机，这个人认为，他认为说，我们其实根本没有什么未来的希望，那我们到底还应该要怎么发愿呢？
No, if you have taken the Bodhisattva vow, which if you haven't and if you want to, we are doing it this afternoon.
那么
After, yeah.
假如说，你有受了菩萨戒，没有的话，我们今天下午会受。
Okay, the world will end, this world will end, but so what? I'm not going to give this up. That's the attitude.
即使世界会毁灭，那又怎么样呢？我不会放弃，应该要有这样的态度。
But frankly, no. There's so many different things that's happening in the world. Some are really good.
但是坦白说，世界上发生很多事，有些事是很好的。
Just a few days ago, I downloaded the collection of works of great Longchenpa in like 2 minutes.
几天前，我在2分钟之内就下载了隆钦巴大师的所有著作，
That is so good.
这实在是太好了。
Yeah, I know, but what do you mean?
但我
There's too many information, right? So we get stirred a bit.
但因为有太多资讯了，所以我们有时候会受到干扰。
This is just me personally sharing you just what I do.
那这是我现在跟你分享我个人做些什么。
You should listen to some of the most ridiculous, what do you call it,
Podcast。
vlogs and video vlogs, ridiculous ones.
所以你应该去看一些、听一些这个 vlogs， 就是影音短片，
Really helpful.
非常有帮助。
Because then you should think they're all same, like they're all just.
然后你应该去思维，这一切其实都是平等一样的。
But yes, actually, but I appreciate, that feels really like, really sort of very volatile, and which is in a way volatile.
但是谢谢你这样子想法，因为这一切真的非常动荡。
But Mahayana, especially Tantrikas, if it is volatile, this is a really good chance to reap the profit too.
但是对于大乘行者还有密续行者来说，越动荡其实是越能够收获成果的。
Okay, we may be only able to do one question, and then we take lunch. Can I? Okay, this, and then we finish. Yeah, okay.
Rinpoche, I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, wide awake, so stimulated from yesterday's teachings, and also from this memory that was evoked, which is probably like more than 40 years old. I spoke about it yesterday. It was this healing that happened in Japan. So this was a time when psychic phenomena was like a big hot topic, and I was really interested in this kind of thing.
You spoke about having a bird's eye view and remembering the sadness of life. I'm wondering if this idea relates to teachings on not abiding in extremes of samsara or nirvana, or not preferring one or the other.
Highest level. That is the real bird's eye view of bird's eye view. There's another bird then.
问题是说，讲到有这个宏观的视野，然后要记住生命的悲伤。请问一下，这个意思是不是就是不要安住于轮回或是涅槃呢？人们却说这是最高的境界。
Okay, we take lunch break.
午饭时间。
Om Yirma Hedu Prabhava Hedun Tekin Tathagata Hayavadi Tekin Zayuniruda Evam Badi Mahasharmanaya Swaha. Om Yidharma Hedu Prabhava Hedun Tekin Tathagata Hayavadi Tekin Zayuniruda Evam Badi Mahasharmanaya Swaha. Om Yidharma Hedu Prabhava Hedun Tekin Tathagata Hayavadi Tekin Zayuniruda Evam Badi Mahasharmanaya Swaha.